The elders say the evil forest of Ojoto is a wound in the world, a place where spirits feed on fear, where footsteps vanish, where even the gods refuse to walk. Yet long ago, one man stepped into that darkness in search of the woman he loved, knowing every soul that entered Ojoto was swallowed and never returned. On that night, even the wind held its breath. Would he live to tell the story? This tale was born long before the age of electric light, back when shadows still carried names and the unseen shared the same roads as the living. In the village of Umuokwa, the coming of the Ogwogu masquerades was a season feared by all. The moon was swollen and pale that night. The air stood unnaturally still, as though waiting for something ancient to awaken. Then it came, a roar, heavy and layered with centuries of power. The ground trembled, the trees leaned away. The spirits of the masquerades had arrived. They traveled the night seeking impurity. No woman was allowed outside. No voice was allowed to cry out. No footsteps permitted in the open. But fate had its own plans. Ineka, wife of Chuka Madwako, stepped out to fetch water before the spirits emerged. She was only gone a few moments. Then the silence broke. First, the rattling of the masquerade bells. Then, a scream. Soft, short, final. When the villagers rushed outside at dawn, they found only her clay pot, shattered, its water darkened with forest dust. Whispers rose like smoke. They have taken her into Ojoto. Everyone knew what that meant. No one returned from that forest. Not whole, not sane, not breathing. But Chuka refused to let the forest take what it did not own. Ignoring the elders' cries, he stood at the mouth of Ojoto with a torch in one hand and a charm woven from his father's hair in the other. The entrance of the forest felt like stepping into another world. The trees bent unnaturally. The darkness felt heavier than night. The air tasted metallic, like old blood. The elders called out to him, "Chuka, no man enters and returns." But he stepped forward, and the forest swallowed him whole. Deep inside, the silence became alive. Branches creaked without wind. Shadows moved without direction. Then, a soft drip. Another. Chuka lifted his torch. Something was hanging upside down from the roots above. A long, pale figure stretching like melted wax. Its limbs dangled like ropes. Its face smooth, empty, perfect, except for a thin, curved line that slowly widened into a smile. It whispered inside his skull, "Chuka, why do you enter where the living do not belong?" The smile widened, its arms lengthened. It reached for him, but Chuka thrust his torch forward. Fire kissed its skin. The creature shrieked, a sound like metal dragged across stone. It fled upward, folding itself into the roots as though melting back into the earth. But Ojoto had only begun. As he walked deeper, he heard weeping, soft, broken, human. He ran toward it, thinking it was Ineka. Instead, he found a massive tree with skin like stretched human flesh. Faces bulged beneath the bark, the faces of trapped souls. They cried, sobbed, begged. Their eyes moved, their mouths opened, hands reached out from inside the bark, pressing, clawing, desperate for release. A whisper drifted from the tree. Help us. Join us. The ground beneath Chuka softened, turning to mud, pulling him down, dragging him toward the tree's hungry trunk. He struggled, sank deeper. The hands reached for his legs, cold as death. Desperate, he remembered the charm at his waist. Okenami, nyeremi aka. Father, help me. He pressed the charm to the mud. It hissed, smoke rose, and the earth hardened instantly, throwing him upward and away from the tree's reach. The souls screamed in fury as he fled into the darkness. Eventually, he stumbled into a silent clearing. Mist curled around a stone altar. Upon it sat a creature with one large, unblinking eye and 3 mouths stacked vertically, each whispering curses in different tones. It spoke without moving. To pass this path, answer, or remain here forever as one of us. It asked its first riddle. What dies but never lived? Chuka's breath slowed. His heart pounded against his ribs. He looked at the fog, the shadows, the broken branches. He thought deeply, then whispered, "A shadow." The forest stirred. The second riddle. What walks without feet? Chuka's mind raced. Sweat rolled down his neck. He closed his eyes, imagining the roads of his village, the streams. Then he answered, "A river." The gatekeeper leaned forward, its eye widening. The mouths hummed angrily. Final riddle. What cries without a tongue? This one nearly broke him. He kneeled, pressed his palm to the earth, listened. The forest moaned above him, branches swaying though there was no wind. Then he understood. The wind. The gatekeeper shrieked. Its stone seat cracked. Its body dissolved into dust. The path opened. But Ojoto was waiting. Further in, a deeper shadow slithered across his path. A figure stepped out, tall, impossibly thin, with limbs that bent backward like broken branches. Its head rotated in a full circle, cracking with each turn. Its chest opened like a mouth, empty, soaking in the light. This was the Nightbender, a spirit rumored to bend the darkness itself. It lunged. Chuka dodged, barely. The creature moved without sound, appearing behind him, beside him, above him, as though the shadows obeyed it. Chuka swung his torch wildly, but the Nightbender laughed, a hollow, bone-dry sound. When it lunged again, he rolled under a fallen log. The spirit followed, bending its spine unnaturally, almost folding itself in two to reach him. He grabbed a sharp branch and stabbed its shadow, not the creature itself, but the shadow beneath it. The Nightbender screamed as though stabbed in the heart. The shadows peeled away from its body. It collapsed into ash. Chuka exhaled heavily. He was running out of time. Soon, he reached the sacred footpath. There, drifting across the trail like floating giants, were the true Ogwogu. Not men beneath masks, but spirits wearing the skins of ancient wood. Their bells chimed without wind. one blocked his path. Its voice thundered, "Turn back or join your wife beneath the roots." But Chuka stepped forward, gripping his torch and charm. The spirits parted, not in mercy, but in recognition of a man who feared nothing anymore. At last, he reached a pale clearing where the world split into two. There, at the boundary stone between Ojoto and the neighboring village, lay Ineka, breathing, alive, but fading, as though the forest was slowly drinking her spirit. Chuka gathered her in his arms and whispered her name. Her eyes fluttered. That was enough. As he turned to leave, the trees shifted. Branches bent toward him. Roots moved like serpents. The path twisted into an unending maze. Ojoto swallowed his footprints. Every direction looked the same. He was trapped. Chuka sank to his knees, clutching Neka to his chest. He lifted his face to the heavens. "Ancestors, guide me. If love has any place in your world, show me the way." A warm wind swept through the forest. The trees shuddered. The shadows bent aside. A narrow path, straight and glowing faintly, opened through the darkness. Chuka followed it step by step, carrying Neka until the first light of dawn touched his skin. They had escaped. When the villagers saw two silhouettes approaching from the direction of Ojoto, they froze. Then the shouting began. Then disbelief. Then tears. The old's elder whispered, "From the beginning of our people, no man has entered Ojoto and returned until today." They honored him. They renamed the village Umu Obina after his lineage. His courage became legend. And that is how one man defied the gods, the spirits, and the forest that eats men, all for love. Since that day, over countless moons, through endless generations, no one has ever dared to enter the evil forest of Ojoto again. Its shadows remain untouched, its secrets remain sealed, and its silence still waits.